Hey everyone. So in this video we're going to explore how we can go about factoring trinomials where the leading coefficient isn't 1. So what you're going to see is a bunch of problems where that number in front of x squared is something other than 1. In this case, for example 1, we have 3x squared plus 11x plus 10. Okay, now I've got this diagram here that maybe looks a little confusing right now. And the problem's actually already done. So we're just going to talk about why this is the correct answer for this problem, and then how we can go about getting to this in a new problem. So the factored form, remember we're trying to write a multiplication problem, right, is 3x plus 5 times x plus 2. Okay, in the blue, we can see that 3x times x, when I multiply those together, I get 3x squared. Okay, in the green, 5 times 2, when I multiply those together, I get 10. So the key part for these problems is actually going to be the red. Okay, and what we call the red are the outsides and the insides, right? And we call them the outsides because it's when I take the outside parts of the parentheses and multiply them together. 3x times 2. Okay, so we call that the out, and then the 5 times the x, we call that the in, or outside or inside, outside and inside, out and in for short. Okay, so basically we have to check all four parts of the distributing. If you remember back to last chapter, or before the quiz, we distribute the 3x to both parts and then the 5 to both parts when we're going backwards here. So what I'm going to do is I've already tested the 3x times x. That got me 3x squared. I've done the 5 times 2. That got me 10. What I have to make sure is that the outsides and the insides add up to 11x. So I test these in red. I go 3x times 2. 3x times 2 is 6x, and that's my outside, and it's positive right now because that's the sign I chose. And then 5 times x would be plus 5x, and I actually see what I get. 6x plus 5x is 11x, and that's what I wanted. Okay, and so that outsides and insides does add up to 11x, and so that's why this is the answer. Okay, so with these problems, it ends up being some guess and check, trying to make the outsides and the insides work. Okay, so let's get to a brand new problem here. 2x squared minus x minus 21. Okay, so when we do this, remember there's a couple of things you have to make sure we do first. We have to always check to make sure that we're in standard form, and we are in this problem. We also have to check that there are no GCFs, and there are not. Okay, so we're ready to factor. So the first thing you should do, and we're going to try to keep this organized, okay? So off to the right, I'm going to write my little out and in check spot. Okay, and I'm going to set up my first set of parentheses. We're going to try to get the correct answer here. All right, so when I test out some numbers here, again, I need to get to 2x squared. And so I lead off with 2x and x. I split the x squared up. 2, I would split it up as well. 2 times 1 is 2. X times x is x squared. Okay, and now I need to think about what are all my options for getting to 21. Okay, so 1 and 21, 3 and 7. Those are my choices. All right, so let's try 3 and 7 first. So what I like to do is you can put them in either spot. Now, I know I need to multiply to negative 21, so one's going to have to be positive, one's going to have to be negative. I don't know which is which, but I can actually choose that later. Okay, so now I test my outsides and insides. All right, so let's do this. Test my outsides. 2x times 7. That's going to be 14x. Right now, I don't know if it's positive or negative. We'll figure that out. Then I test the insides. 3 and x. 3 times x is 3x. Is there any way I can combine those to get to negative x? Remember, that's my goal, is to get to negative x, the middle term. Well, 14 plus 3, 14 minus 3, there's no way I can get negative x. So that one didn't work. So I'm going to cross it off. That one didn't work. Now I try again. So this is, like I said, it's a big guess and check process. Okay, so I still like 2x and x, because that's really the only way to get to 2x squared. But I can switch the 7 and the 3 around. So let's put the 7 here and the 3 there. Right, and now I check my outsides and insides again. 2x times x. Oops, that's not the outsides. Let's try this again. Hold on. Let me fix this. 2x times 3. Those are the outsides. That's 6x. And then the inside is 7 times x, which is 7x. Oh, 6x and 7x. There is a way I could make those negative x. Right? And the way that would happen is if it was positive 6x and negative 7x would equal negative x. So I'm going to pick my signs here to make that happen. It would be positive 3, so I get the positive 6x on the outside, and negative 7, so I get negative 7x on the inside. Right? And there's my answer. Okay? So we'll box that in. All right. Let's try another. 5x squared minus 19x minus 4. Okay, standard form. Yep. GCF. Nope. No GCF, so we're good to go. So set up your outside check and inside check. And then start off with parentheses. Always start with the blank parentheses. It's the easiest way to do these. It gives your brain something to look at. Okay, and then to get 5x squared, I'll go 5x and x. Then my only options for 4, I want to get to 4, are 1 and 4 or 2 and 2. Okay, so let's start with 4 and 1. Okay, 4 and 1. If I check my outsides, I get 5x times 1, which would be 5x. And I check my insides, I get 4x. That does not give me 19. Okay. So let's switch them around. 5x and x. But instead of 4 and 1, let's do 1 and 4. Right? Now when we check the outsides here, I get 20x. And on the insides, I get 1x. Those could make negative 19. Right? Remember, my goal was to get negative 19. Okay, 5 and 4 did not work. But 20 and 1, if I make the 20 negative and the 1 positive, I'll get negative 19x. So I go back to my parentheses and figure out, okay, I need that negative 4 there and positive 1 in order to get negative 20 and positive 1x. And there's my answer. Okay, one more. 4x squared minus 8x plus 3. Let's see here. Again, is it standard form? Yes. Is there GCF? 4, 8, 3? No. So outside and inside. Okay. And all right, so now for 4x squared, I could do 4x and x. I also could do 2x and 2x, so I don't know. Let's see what happens here. Now for 3, it's only 1 and 3. Okay, so let's try 1 and 3. Outsides gets me 12x and 1x. And I'm trying to get to negative 8. Well, this won't work. Okay, so switch the 1 and the 3 around. 4x and x. Put the 3 there and the 1 there. Let's see. This gets me outside of 4x, inside of 3x, 7 or 1. Nope, that doesn't work either. Remember, I'm trying to get to negative 8. 4 plus 3 is 7. 4 minus 3 is 1. Doesn't work. Okay, so you know what that must mean is the 4x and x are wrong. So let's switch them to 2x and 2x. Okay, because that's the other way that I could get to 4x squared is by 2x and 2x. Okay, so now we'll try the 1 and the 3. All right, outside is, oops, that's not outside. Outside is 6x, inside is 2x. Ooh, that has potential. Let's see. I want to get to positive 3 for multiplication and negative 8. So if I made them both negative, that should work. Negative 8x. 2x minus 1, 2x minus 3. There's my answer. Okay, so these take some time because it's guess and check. So sometimes it might be 3 or 4 tries before you get the right answer, and they take some practice. But as you get used to them, they start to get better. Use this method with the outsides and the insides, and you should be in pretty good shape. Okay, thanks for watching.